Like not all babies are the same, and some get used to a routine like after 3 days, and some need more time. And I feel like that's part of the journey of parenthood, like figuring out who your child is and what do they need.
Yeah, and what I realize is, I should have had this listed as a question, but I guess that last nap dictates for me, like, if it's going to be a good one or if it's going to be a bad one. Have you ran into that issue?
Yes, absolutely. And that's one of the advice I give to my clients. I always tell them the last nap is the most important nap of the day. So if you want to keep contact napping, do it for that nap. Like all my clients do a contact nap for the last nap of the day. And they are like, why? Like, aren't we trying to break this habit? And I'm like, yes, but if your baby takes a good nap before bedtime, it's going to make your life easier. If not, it's not going to be as simple. So yeah, it's actually part of like the program I run. Contact naps are still a thing, and it's always on the last nap.
Okay, so then I'm not off because I'm like, there's days where I'm just like, yeah, I'm just holding you right now. I'm not dealing with this because in 2, 3 hours, it's gonna be a pain. I'm not gonna get anything done when it's time to put you to sleep if I don't hold you for this nap. Okay,
Yeah,
all right,
totally. And I feel like that's the beauty of sleep training. Like, it doesn't mean that you will never contact nap again, but now you have the
okay.
choice. And if you want to do it, you can do it. But if you can't, because you need to get things done. Like you can put your baby in the crib, and they will nap while you get things done.
Okay, good. I'm on to something. This is why we have these conversations. All right, so then my next question is like, where should sleep training take place? Okay, so for us, right, my situation is a little bit different. My boyfriend, he's a survivor of epilepsy, right? And so if you don't know what that is, that's random seizure disorders. So at any given moment, he can have a seizure. So what that looks like for us is like a lot different. As far as who picks her up, sits her down, that's primarily just me, unless I'm right next to him. In addition to that, some people who have epilepsy have triggers or auras, right? He has no tells. His only tell is lack of sleep, right? Which is terrible if you have a newborn, or stress, which is terrible if you have a newborn. So essentially, we made the conscious decision that we wanted to try to push him and make sure he gets to 1 year without a seizure. He's 1 month away from that, so congrats to him. But we said, we're not going to be sleeping together. We're going to have you sleep in another room, which means that I'm in another room, right? How our house is set up, the rooms are not connected. Like, I think I would be more comfortable if, I could just walk into her room in the middle of the night and like I can hear her. So that didn't work. We ended up landing on, I was going to be in the bedroom, right? And then we were going to put the crib in the bedroom with me. And then my boyfriend was going to be on the opposite end of the house. So if she wakes up in the middle of the night, cries, it doesn't wake her up. So that's not the nursery. I'm in the nursery right now. So we have her sleep training in the bedroom with me, and we go to sleep in the same room. I guess what I'm asking is, does it matter? Is it supposed to be that way? Like, what is the ideal setup? Should you be sleep training where the kid is going to be at, like, for the next 6 months to a year? Or does it not matter? Is it more of like the bedtime routine method?
Yeah, so it really depends on the baby's age. The AAP recommends room sharing until 6 months old. So the first thing you need to consider is like, how old is my baby? Because if the baby is, let's say, 7 months old and you're not room sharing anymore, then it should take place in the nursery or wherever they usually sleep. But if the baby is under 6 months old, then the parents can room share, because the reality is that some parents, for different reasons, like choose not to, and that's also okay. Then we need to make sure that sleep training takes place in the place that parents want the baby to sleep.
Gotcha. Okay. Nope, that makes sense. All right. So are you adamantly against co-sleeping? And if so, why?
Against it, I choose not to work with clients who want to continue co-sleeping, just because I don't think it's aligned with sleeping independently. I mean, it can be, and there's a lot of sleep consultants that work with parents who choose to co-sleep. It's just not the way I work. I just feel like it does not align with the methods I have.
Okay, well, we're going to get into those methods, all right? Just for my thoughts, I don't know. As a mom, I'm on the fence about it. I definitely don't think that it's something that's safe at a very early age, right? But I could see how moms could get into that space of co-sleeping very easily, especially if you're breastfeeding. Like, I'm breastfeeding. It's convenient, it's comfortable, but the paranoia aspect of rolling over, and then also wanting your baby to be able to fall asleep independently. So like I get it, but I think that what works for us is the sleep training process and our baby sleeping separate. It's like at a 6 months to a year, when my boyfriend does come back in the room with us, it's going to be way better if she's sleeping separate than us, because for us, it's literally a safety hazard for her to be in the bed with the both of us. So interesting. Okay, so what do you think is a good method to establish kids under 12 weeks for sleep training?
So for kids under 12 weeks, I don't recommend any sleep training methods. I usually start with the sleep training methods after they hit the 12-week mark. And I really like the Shush bath method. Tracy Hogg is the one who dig deeper into this technique. And it's great because the parents are next to the baby until they fall asleep. It's not something that they, again, close the door and say, see you in the morning, because that's not something we want for our babies. Like, so hard to hear them cry. And realistically, there's going to be some tears, because if the baby is used to, let's say, contact sleeping, when you put them down, like we probably try it like early when you had your baby, like they are going to scream. But the good thing about that method is that you're next to your baby. You're offering comfort, like you're telling them, like, I'm here for you. And it's just easier for the parents and for the baby. For babies older than 6 months is a method that unfortunately it doesn't work as well. So there's a few more tiers involved. I think quick checks work really well, but it also really depends on the baby. Some babies take comfort and they do really well with, let's say, like crib-side comforting, and some babies just like won't take comfort if you don't give them what they want. So really depends on the baby's personality as well, and the family tolerance to tears. Some families, because they need to go back to work, they need results in 3 days. Unfortunately, methods that involve a lot of comforting take longer than 3 days. So it's a mix of the baby's personality and what the parents need.
Gotcha. Okay, so let's go over this method, right? Let's talk about the shush. What did you call it? Shush pup? Or
Yeah, basically that's what you do. Like after a full wake window, you put your baby down on their
okay.
backs. And if your baby is not crying, you just step out of sight, because that's part of the process, right? Like letting them figure out how to fall asleep. And if they are not showing signs of distress, we let them.